I'm Allison McBain, and I'm the author behind Author vs. AI. If you'd like to learn more, please follow along at my website, authorversusai.com. In this video, I'm sharing tips and tricks about how I'm writing a book a week and how you can do it too. The topic this week is outlining, and this is the last part of the subject. Let me take an example from one of my books from Author vs. AI. I'll show you a bit more about the first book I tackled, The Ink Collector. Using the initial summary I wrote, what I'll do is use each sentence of it to help me expand the plot line of the book. So the first sentence of my summary is, Amy feels haunted by the death of her twin sister when they were both 13. I changed that one sentence into the idea for my first chapter and expanded the idea. Here's what I wrote in my outline. Chapter 1, 5 years ago. Amy is trying to save her sister from drowning when they were both 13, but it seems like something pulls her under the surface. Later, when her body is recovered by a police officer and EMTs, Amy blames herself and sinks into a deep depression. So I used the idea of what could happen and expanded it into a concrete scene. What's an emotional way to show Amy's loss? Is by showing the scene where her sister dies. The next two sentences of my summary are, she's consumed by guilt for not being able to save her sister from drowning and has since struggled with depression, which she expresses through her dark and graphic art. Fresh out of high school, Amy apprentices with an odd duck mentor to follow her dream of becoming a tattoo artist. These two sentences become the next 5+ chapters. The way I continue the chapter-by-chapter expansion is by bringing in subplots. For example, the second chapter carries the reader through Amy's high school graduation and brings in her 3 best friends who will be reoccurring characters throughout the book. Another thing I include is how Amy gets the mentorship with that tattoo artist. She applies and gets the email notification that she's been accepted to the program the same day she graduates from high school. Then in chapter 3, she meets her mentor, and he turns out to be a grumpy older man who doesn't seem impressed when she shows up at his shop without any experience. So the conflict of the next few chapters ends up being Amy having to prove herself to him and show that she's old enough for adult responsibilities. All of these ideas are tropes in the YA genre: best friends, grumpy mentor, and growing up. So now that I've shown you how to expand a summary into a chapter-by-chapter outline, why don't you give it a try? You don't actually have to write the book itself, but it's great practice to take the germ of an idea and make it into a book outline. Any comments or questions? Throw them into the chat. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Until then, happy writing.